Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Happy Sabbath day. Happy beautiful summer fall.
Right. It's starting to feel like it
Summer
now.
fall, right? I said summer fall because you got a little bit of summer still there, but the fall is kicking in a little bit. It's creeping in.
Right.
And it's all good though. But I'm Wyoming.
I am Linda.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Falasha Day.
And we are still
Four Sisters Live.
And guess what? We have our two ladies out today, but guess
ladies
what
on the
again? They're on the road, Laverne and Shirley.
I'm going to say
Laverne and Shirley.
They are out there.
Out on the road.
On the road
so
again.
we have our lovely sisters from Sisters for Sisters Network.
Yes.
Sitting in for Peg is Alicia, and sitting in for Charlene is Velocity. And
Yes.
we got it going on today.
Yes.
And I'm just so happy that they were able to take out for this Saturday because these are busy ladies.
Yeah.
Always got something going on. We got to
Yeah.
be calling who can come, who can come.
Please,
Who
please,
can
please.
sit in, right?
Right.
But it's wonderful that they are here because they know so well about how this organization operates, how
Yes.
Peggy has designed so well the ladies to come together and support each other and do certain things that we need for our sisters. So they're here to support us as always. And they're part of the family.
Yes.
They are
Yes.
sisters.
Sisters.
That's why we
That's
sisters.
why we got so many
That's
sisters.
why we got so many sisters, right?
So we
It's
just
like,
just
you know,
slide on in. Slide on in.
women helping women to connect.
Yes.
And that's who we are, and that's what we do.
That's what we
So Peg and Charlene may be calling in. They are on the road.
I know they're going to
out
call
there.
in.
If
You
think-
just know they're
well,
going to call in.
in.
Absolutely.
At
At
some point.
She said she wants.
Oh.
Yeah,
We know
yeah.
they
She'll
will.
find some time to call in. But today is a day that we take time out to acknowledge what's going on, what's happening in this community, things that we're involved in, because we are all involved in so many things.
Right.
And it's good stuff.
Good stuff.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, it's a lot. But we find, how do we find time? Our energy. How do
Man,
Yeah.
I explain
God
that to
made
me?
Makes
us to go, but He told us to rest.
Absolutely.
We
Good
don't
point.
rest. That's
That's
the
good.
part.
He
We
said
don't
rest now. That
Yeah,
he
he
did say.
did.
You know, and I learned today, health and wellness. Not today, but this week, Dr. Chin Rong who is the doctor in my company, Prime My Body, who helped design our products. And he has a little verb. I don't know what you call them, podcast or whatever. Come
Yeah,
on.
podcast.
So I've been catching them, and he said that we are not supposed to eat anything after sundown. He said God created us to eat from sun up and then sundown, then no food.
Wow.
That's part of our problem.
I've heard
Right.
that.
Yeah.
My health coach
And
said the
you
same
know,
thing.
yeah, so I heard it from Dr. Rom, and
That's
I've always heard don't eat after 7:30, but that it really kind of brings it together now. Oh, okay, 7:30. It's usually
The
dark.
sundown,
That's
right.
sundown. So so
You know, our Jewish brothers and sisters, that's what they do.
right.
Yeah, they did.
That's what they do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We just-
So we have to really, because then we have to learn how to rest.
Right.
You have to know how to
Because
rest.
sometimes we eat, then we got to stay up for that food. We think going to go down.
That is true.
That's what we got to do. You
That
can't
is
just
true.
eat and
We
then
do
just
have
moving.
to rest. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
I think
right.
I'm falling asleep every time.
Well, that food is heavy, so then the next thing is that you get the itis and you want to go to bed.
The
Right.
itis.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, it's like we really do have to take care of our bodies
Absolutely.
and rest because
Rest.
we do so much.
We need to
Our
rest.
schedules are hectic and it's only.
We try to put 24 into 24.
I know,
much.
we really do. But
Too much.
it's a good thing. But we missed you for the past couple
Oh,
of
I
weekends.
miss you guys. Oh my
Good,
goodness.
Girl, you've been on the
You've been
road
on the move, too.
I've been doing
I
a
can't
lot.
even remember. Well, last week was the health and wellness, helping out
Yes.
with help our
Oh, with
sister
Florence
with
Champagne,
Florence.
yes.
Yeah, that was really awesome, and we had loads and loads of food. I tell you guys, come on by and get some food because
you brought the watermelon.
they had
by.
to. Okay, good.
Oh,
Oh, you heard about the watermelon. But they had
the best.
a truck with all these groceries,
Yeah.
but they had all these health and wellness personnel that came in from, to check your blood pressure, your heart. They even had a quiet room. And in that room, they had this lady who had, you lay down on the bed and you had some type of gems that you lay on. And it's supposed to, I think it's the amethyst kind of strip, and you lay, and it's supposed to pull out something.
Stress.
Stress and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, that's what I was
Kathy
thinking.
tried
I-
it, so we have to ask Kathy.
Okay,
next time. Yeah,
okay.
Kathy did
Yeah,
try
that
it,
is
so they
good.
had that. We
Wow.
had games, we had checkers, and we had all kinds of perk. I can't even think of all right now, but it was good.
Yeah,
So
y'all
next
had
year.
entertainment as well.
Oh yeah, we had entertainment. We had Captain Fly. Captain Fly
Oh,
was
hi,
there.
Captain Fly.
Yeah, Captain Fly was there, and I found out that the Chateau, hey, they doing stuff during the day for the seniors.
Oh,
I
wow.
saw that.
Oh man, I said, oh, that's
Every
where they
day?
are.
Oh.
I don't know about
What
every
days
day,
of the week
but
that
the
they
events
do
that
have
they
Is that like
have,
line
they're
dancing and
doing
stuff
the
like
day.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
probably
not
do
just
that.
that, but entertainment like the spinners or somebody's supposed to be coming.
Oh, so
What?
They're having day
Oh,
parties.
good.
So
Well,
There we go.
Linda, I called Linda today. I said, "What you doing? Patting the bell and the bluebell's head. Look,
And
look.
I'm like,
You need to go
I need to go.
and represent."
Yes.
But it's all good because that's what a lot of them
Exercise.
need to do.
And
Exercise.
doing the diet
Moving.
A
is
lot of
safe.
our seniors, they are not able to
Yeah.
get out in the evening, so
Right.
daytime they have all kind of dances, like in the mall, the Iverson shots for
Oh,
Iverson,
okay.
in the lower level.
Uh-huh.
I think it's on Tuesdays and certain days of the week in the morning.
Okay.
They have a lot of them that doing step dancing,
Oh,
exercising through
yeah.
dance.
all right.
It's awesome.
I'm gonna have to go join them.
Yeah, it's really nice
Right.
though. It's a community effort.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
So
wonderful.
they come out and they in the whole. They take up half the mall
And then we
downstairs.
have Lewis there.
But he's not a part of it. But he's down
but
there.
Lewis, hey,
in
after
that
you finish
gym.
that, then you can go to the gym with Lewis Cunningham, which
Yes.
he'll be on the show next Saturday.
Week.
Oh,
Our
absolutely.
trainer
Our
will be here
trainer.
next week.
Yes.
So, we just want to make some acknowledgments because we know this month is October and it's a month of breast cancer month awareness as well as domestic violence.
Right.
And so we are going to be talking about that subject today. We have a couple of things that we want to address as it relates to what's going on because it's still happening relative to domestic violence.
Every day.
Women are surviving. Women are also surviving with the breast cancer, which is wonderful. Women
yes.
are telling their stories, about how they've been blessed and they've been free, cancer free for so many years with that. So it is a triumph time for a lot of women that who can do and survive in that area relative to cancer and domestic violence. And I think it's just something we all need to continue to have a conversation about,
Right.
not
To
just
keep
this
it out there
month.
because we have young
but we need
girls that's
to-
growing up, and we need to make sure that they do better than we.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
Because
yes.
And
they're
not accept it
eating-
as
they're not
normal.
eating as good
And,
as
and they
we.
accept it as normal.
And
and
not
it's
accept it as normal.
true.
Right,
And that is
right.
so true.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about that today. Today's our first Saturday, and you already know our first Saturday in every month we talk about domestic violence. And our second Saturday is health and wellness. It's head up by Linda. Our third Saturday is education. It's head up by Charlene. And our fourth Saturday is our entrepreneur, and that's head up by Peggy. So we always got something happening on this platform. We keep it moving. We keep it going. When it's the fifth Saturday rather, I always want to say Sunday. When it's the fifth Saturday,
That's church girls.
I
That's
know,
it.
right? Then we bring it around as the community and
Yes.
bring our youth and talk about everything that is happening relative to all these different topics that we've been talking about throughout the month. So, anyways, we just want you all to continue to engage and help us to help others
Right.
to do what they need to do, and that's what it's about. We have to support each other, and I'm happy because we are still here to be able to tell our stories because all of us have a story. Who is this? All of us have a story to tell, right? That's what if our guests call and say they're gonna call in, but we all have a story to tell. And I know some are different than others and drastic, but if you don't have one, somebody else has.
Yeah.
Right.
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 And you could tell it. But today, talking about telling our stories, we're going to have a guest to call in, and she has an awesome story to talk to us about in relations to domestic violence, how she has dealt with it, and how she has overcome her situation in that area. But today also we want to recognize the passing of Diane Carroll.
Yes.
She was such
Wow.
a classy
Yeah.
woman.
Classy,
Yes.
elegant.
That's history.
Yes, that's true black
True
history.
black history.
Black female history.
Black female history.
Yes.
She was the
Setting
first
the example.
Exactly. For us.
For us.
for us. She
Yeah.
really
Right.
did. I mean,
Watching
we
her.
really are walking on her shoulders, standing on her shoulders, rather, as it relates to who we become because we have seeing the eyes of who she was and what she did. And I mean, we watched television and saw her and was like amazed.
Wow.
I was.
Yes, I was too.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
to see this
Yes.
black woman, one of
Yeah.
the first black women
On TV.
On TV. In a positive manner.
in a positive,
The role manner.
light, in a role manner. I don't think she wanted to accept anything less.
It wasn't until Dynasty where she said she wanted to do something real different.
I
You
loved her
remember
on
that?
Dynasty,
She was
Miss
just something.
Different. Oh,
Yeah.
I still picture to this day when she first came in, and she had about 20 bags, 20 suitcases coming in when she. It's like, woo, that girl got some stuff.
She was a
Yes.
bad chick.
She was
She
bad.
is.
That was a bad
so
chick.
bad,
And
so
I
bad.
loved her because she kept it real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she kept her beauty.
Yes. Yes,
You know,
she did.
She kept her
She
beauty.
kept her beauty.
She kept her
Beauty
beauty.
secrets, too.
Yes, she did. Yeah. But again, we're talking about breast cancer, but she did pass away from
breast
cancer.
It was-
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's important again that we acknowledge that. And also, Jesse.
Oh, Jesse Norman. Woo! Yes, for all the for the opera world, we have lost an angel. Oh my God, Jesse Norman. She was one of my first persons that I would go to the Kennedy Center to see, and you know, she set the example for all opera singers. You know, black, white, whoever. She was a diva for real.
Wow.
And I just remember that one time, because I mean, you would go there, standing room only. I would take it as long as I could be in the house with her. You know, that's just how awesome she was. And I hope I was looking for some music today for her. You know, and do we have anything? We might have a little something, a little key or two, you know, of her voice. But yeah. All praises go out to all of our divas.
Yes.
We miss you, girls, and you all are examples.
Yeah.
But Miss Jessie Norman, she was my favorite.
Well, we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to come back and maybe we can go out with one of her songs. And we shall return momentarily.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
our divas. To our
Yes.
divas.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And they rest in
Quick.
peace. Yes, yes. Well, we are here again. We're talking about the subject on domestic violence. This is our segment on today. And we have a lovely sister here that we've invited, and she is here in town to talk about something else that we know that involves domestic violence. And we talk about when you are engaged or involved rather with someone who is taking advantage of you, that's bullying.
Right.
Absolutely.
Literally bullying, you know, and you want to be in control, and that's not a good thing. And that's happening more and more, not only as adults, but bullying is happening with our children.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And so we're going to talk about that. Our sister came in today, Sherelle Bates. Let's give it up for
Sherelle.
Thank you so much, ladies, for
And
having me. Let me give a little bit background. Sherelle Bates is a global children's book author and blogger who became multi-viral in 2018 while pregnant with her twins. That's who was out there talking, making I didn't know it.
Oh.
Today.
That's all for the babies.
Mom work all the time.
I know. Work is
They're
never
doing
done.
it with the babies. That's right.
Though her thrust into the limelight was not due to the best of circumstances, she has been able to turn the pains of these experiences into an important message and stand against bullying through her new children's book, Woolly Bully? Woolly Bully.
Woolly Bully.
It's here.
Cheryl is from Washington, D.C., and will be reading her book at Storytime at East City Bookshop in Capitol Hill. That's today.
Today,
Oh,
in about an hour.
Yes, she has
there.
a book signing, guys.
Come
Yes.
and see me. I'm super excited.
You are an exciting woman. I love your energy.
Yeah.
I'm excited about
Tell us what's
the
going
message.
on. Yes.
So, as you said, the circumstances, I wish it could have been better on why I became nationally known, but that was neither here nor there. Most importantly is what you do with the decisions and what has been given to you. So I was given lemons, but I absolutely made lemonade. So I'm excited to share my
There you
Woolly
go.
Bully book. Woolly Bully is now available globally. Yes, I'm from D.C. I currently live with my family, my husband, and my 3 children in Charlotte, North Carolina. I went viral in 2018. People were just so interested in my pregnancy, and not always for the best reason. I dealt with a lot of cyberbullying. In fact, 300,000 people,
What?
internet trolls, were talking awful about me, just saying really, really cruel comments and about my picture and how big I was. I was absolutely big. Definitely, when you have an opportunity, just Google Sherelle Bates and you can find a little bit more about the story. But what I'm really excited about is Woolly Bully. Woolly Bully is about it challenges children, one, to choose kindness and not to choose bullying, and to say something. If you see something, say something and stand up about it. But it's also most importantly about forgiveness, because despite what happened to me, I chose to forgive those people. I chose to forgive everyone. I never got back into it in arguments with the people. I just wished them the best, best of days or whatever. And this book was built out of that situation. I needed to release some of that energy from postpartum anxiety, and I chose to just get a pen, paper, draw, write my heart out, and it came with such a beautiful piece, and I'm super excited to share it today at East City Bookshop. Again, I'll be there at 2
Where
o'clock
East
today.
City Book is located where?
It's at 645 Pennsylvania Avenue in Southeast D.C.
Okay,
I will be there
right
from 2
across the
p.m. to
bridge.
3 p.m. I am sharing my book. I'm excited. The contents are not a secret, so I'm excited to share it with you all. I'm also signing the book as well. Copies are available as well. And again, it's available in here in every major bookstore in the country, plus 9 additional countries. So I'm really excited. This word is just getting out everywhere, and I'm excited to share it
Well,
today.
you know,
Oh,
you should
wow.
connect. How, have you spoken to number 45's wife?
Right. You might want to share that book.
Right? I haven't heard anything else lately about her bullying.
Yes, that's her
experiences and
campaign,
stuff.
isn't it?
Is it a campaign?
I think
It was.
A focus
It was.
or something at
I
one
will
time.
tell you
So
that this
focus
is an
seemed like
anti-bullying
It is anti-movement.
movement.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I love this. Now, is Wooly you have him as a,
Okay, so I'll tell you
Character?
about Wooly.
Yeah.
Wooly is your traditional face-to-face bully. So he's one of your
Okay.
big, buff caterpillars. He comes to Butterfly High. He experiences bullying himself, though. Now, who would think to bully the biggest bully in school? So you definitely come out today at 2 o'clock at East City Bookshop and find out.
so parents, moreover, can bring their children and kind of do a read thing, Are you going to do that? You can take some pages from your book and read some of these.
I'm reading the
pages.
entire book. I'm
Oh,
sharing it.
wow.
So
There
I
you
need
go.
this message to get out. So I'm excited to share that as well. And I'll be happy to sign the book as well. I wanted to really start off my first book tour here in DC because I am from PG
Right.
County. I was born in DC, primarily born in PG County, even went to PGCC, graduated from PG Community College. So really excited to bring that here home.
Right.
And to be able to share that. I'm looking for more doors and opportunities to
Are you
share my
aware
message
of
and
the
other stories in the
bookstore on
future.
8th and H?
I'm sorry?
Are you aware of the bookstore on, 6th and H Northeast?
What's the name of the bookstore?
I can't think. I'm trying to think of it now. It's a new bookstore.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right next to the Whole Foods.
That's a great question. I'm not sure. I do
Okay.
know at this time major book chains, Barnes and Nobles, Books a Million, Amazon.
Yeah, this is a
has
black-owned
picked that up.
station.
So you have a
Yes.
mascot?
Yeah.
We are working on it, but right now
Oh.
Bully is
Bully, the
representing
mascot.
the
Bully might be a caterpillar,
you
huh?
transform.
No.
Absolutely.
Bully looks
He
like-
started
Break
out as
into a
bully.
butterfly, huh?
Absolutely, but he learns a very important lesson, and I really think that it's important not just for children but for everybody.
Absolutely.
Everyone can. Unfortunately, I'm 31 years old. I dealt with bullying, so it really doesn't have an age. But we want to definitely cancel and deflate the power of bullying. So we want
Right.
to cancel that energy that is in bullying, and we're going to choose kindness. So I'm excited to do that.
So tell us different ways of bullying. There are a couple of ways. that
There are a couple of ways.
So give us a couple of those.
So in the book particularly, I deal with direct confrontations, which would be more your traditional bullying, unfortunately, like give me your lunch money kind of thing. And then there is cyberbullying, which is what I dealt with, which would be just internet trolling or people just saying really mean things on the internet. And they feel a little bit more confident because it doesn't have that direct interaction. So
Right.
people are a little bit more open and feel like they have less consequences to deal with. So we definitely want to talk about both of those, and particularly in the age of social media, children I feel like are dealing with that a lot more than maybe what I did when I was in elementary school. We got social media about when I was in high school, so it was kind of aging out of that. But I want to really just address that across the board, whether it's someone face to face in school or online. Definitely, if you see something, say something, and let's defeat that power.
Do you think that's happening more? People see something, they say something, and you think they're getting it now? Because at first it was more like people weren't really saying.
Right.
Maybe they still aren't, but you need to get into that more. What do you say on that?
I think that we are going in the right direction. I don't think that we're quite there yet, but this book is going to be a push there, and I'm really
right.
excited about that. One, I think it's a fun and a silly way, but it has a very important message. And I think because I can say that I dealt with 300,000 people being very mean to me, and I chose not to repeat and go back and be mean. I chose to be nice and forgive them and be kind. I feel like
Right.
everyone could do that, and I think that everyone deserves an opportunity. You never know; you might actually build some friendships out of that, and then you never know what they're going through. I
Right.
always say, hurt people hurt people.
Right.
So
That's
it
right.
could be some of that, but we need to just choose. Someone needs to be the bigger person and stand up, and let's just cancel it all together.
So what do you think sometimes bullying people, people that do that are just want to prove something, who they are?
I think
that they
it's
can
a little mix
do
of that.
Yeah.
I think that it's they wanting to prove who they are. I feel like they're also trying to mask some insecurities on their own
But
by
I find
deflection.
sometimes they aren't as
Right.
bad as they think they really
Oh,
are.
absolutely. Oh, no, it's never that. Absolutely. And what's been also interesting, a couple of people that I opposed to, that I replied to in the comment section, I told them, I respect your opinion even though I don't agree, but thank you for taking time to listen to my story. And immediately they would DM me and apologize.
Yeah,
So it's
see?
like when you don't give that energy,
Right.
it's like, wow, you gave me an apology. Like, you know what? I didn't even mean that. I just had a bad day. You just never know. But choosing to not combat or put fire with fire,
Right.
it has a lot more power than I think people realize. So
that's
that's kind
good.
of why I'm challenging that.
Good talk.
Thank
That
you.
is
Talk.
good.
That's
That
real
is
good.
good.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited about you coming. I know you have a book signing. I know you have to leave and get ready to go. Is this the one that like you can autograph and we can talk
It would
about
be
it?
my pleasure.
I know. I'm like, I need
This
mine
is really
too. My
nice. I think
grandbabies.
it's awesome that
Yeah.
you have a book out that really need to be addressed. Are you going into schools?
That is my goal. So we're starting right now at East City Bookshop. I'm grateful that they stand behind the message. I'm looking forward to many independent and major bookstores standing behind the book, inviting me in.
Solid State
Also
is the
through
one. That's the name of it.
Oh, that's what it's
Solid
called?
State.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will check them out as well, and also through the county school system as well. So definitely opening my job. I'm sending the link to my story, sharing that. I can be found on Instagram at Sherelle Bates and on Facebook at Sherelle Bates. If you have any questions or concerns, check me out at woolybully001@gmail.com. I'd be happy to answer your questions and share my story with you.
All right.
She can do a commercial in less than 60 seconds.
Exactly.
I'm gonna hire you.
Because she got it. But let's be clear. Let's be clear. Slow down and tell them how you spell Sherelle. Because people spell Sherelle
That's a
differently.
great question. So my first name is spelled SHIRELL _ and then it's BATES. It's where you can find me on Instagram. And same thing on Facebook is spelled the same way. Any questions, I'm definitely happy and open to just share my message. And I'm always really excited to share and connect with my followers.
That's good.
This
Well, we're
message.
happy that you came.
man, you
Thanks so
pop
much
right
for
up.
stopping
Thank
by
you.
on your
Thank
way to
you.
your book
Yes.
signing and your. This is going to be one of many.
One of many.
Yeah, one of many
One of
for
many.
you,
Yes.
because I think the
Absolutely.
story needs to be told. So, ladies and gentlemen, even on Facebook, support Sherelle Bates in her book. You have children, even grown folks, adults need to read this.
Probably should. I'm thinking. No.
Need to really, really get into this book. So
Well,
we
a
could.
lot of them have work, you know.
You say what?
Willy Bully's at work.
Willy Bully.
Oh, yeah.
Willy
yeah.
Bully. We
Oh, that's
yeah.
another
Willy
book.
Bully's at
There we
work.
go. That's a good. That's another
love
book.
that. I love
Woolly
that.
Bullies at work. That's your next book.
Yeah, so it's all good. Thanks again.
Thank you. This was an incredible
Yes.
homecoming for me.
Yes.
And I'm just so excited about what For Sisters Live is doing. And it was my pleasure to share my story with you all. And thank you for having me today.
And
Thank
thank
you.
you, Robin Thornhill.
Awesome work.
Robin Thornhill, and we can, connect. And
Yes.
Robin has, thank you, Robin Thornhill, for being instrumental in having Sherelle to
Thank
come
you
on our
so
show.
much.
And blessings to you again.
Yes.
Thank
And
you.
we're going to continue
Thank
to have our
you.
conversation on domestic violence. And we'll be right back. We have a commercial. Y'all ready, guys?
All right.
Yay. We're going to take a picture.
Good job.
No practice. I had to just like.
She did.
We're back.
Yeah,
Woo,
that was
woo,
great.
for
Woo.
Sherelle. That's good. Yeah.
Well, you know, when you have those whirlwinds, I just felt the whirlwind.
Yeah. She blew in, blew
She
up,
blew
and
in
blew out.
Blew out. Woo. Well, I'm so happy
it's
to
all
hear
good.
about that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's an awesome
Awesome
story.
Awesome
That is
message
awesome.
too.
Yes.
Necessary. Absolutely.
But to make some light of everything else, and I'm gonna tell you, financially, we talk about domestic violence, we talk about bullying, and that is a lot going on. But at the same time, we have to understand there are various areas of domestic violence.
Yes.
True.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We know that there's sexual. We know that there's verbal. We know that there's financial.
Right.
We know that there is what's the other area of financial? Of domestic violence. Emotional. Absolutely.
And physical.
Really,
So
that
and physical
emotion, yeah.
and very emotional. So when we talk about that, we don't think about financial abuse.
Right. That's true.
But
Yeah.
you have an area that you can talk about our finances, and this is Alicia Pryor with C4W.
yes.
Chrysalis for Wealth.
Yes.
Yes, what's going on with you all with that?
Well, what I particularly was looking to do, and we're reaching out into the community, have a financial literacy with the focus of domestic violence, because you too can be a victim of a financial abuse, meaning that someone would take advantage of you financially, and you feel that you have to surrender to the person who's victimizing you. So oftentimes, even we particularly talk a lot about women, but now even men are coming out as victims of domestic abuse. But what that abuser will tend to do is just to take over your finances, and you feel that you have to surrender that to them just to keep peace, or they have that control over you.
yeah.
And so what we want to do is kind of help people get that control back. For in some instances, people are starting over again, and they're really stepping out with courage and faith. Let me get my life together. Let me start putting the blocks together for my future and success as I now dig myself out of this hole. It's almost like a hole that you're in, and now get postured for some financial success. So we're
Yeah.
excited about pulling together those workshops for those who have been in those type situations. It's kind of line upon
I've heard
line.
of those persons who've actually had to hide their money so that they can make that getaway. They have to hide their finances
Right.
so that their spouse won't take it away from them. Because
Right.
sometimes controlling is taking that money from them that they worked for.
Right.
You know, so that's
That's
really
another
good.
sign of control.
Yes,
It is. And it is a control thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or when the women come home from work and she get paid instantly, the check
The
goes
check is
directly
right
to the
to them.
husband.
Mhm.
So
Right.
that's a form
Right.
of
It
finance,
is.
domestic
Right.
violence
It
as
is.
well.
It really is. It's a lot of emotional stress.
Yes, stress.
Yes.
Yes.
Very, very stressful, and that is
Yes.
not a good thing. So then you're living in this bubble of, how do I get out of this, and what am I going to do? You try to stay, to try to hopefully make it work.
Or what did
Right.
you buy today?
What-
Ooh, Lord. What did you buy today?
And
What
even-
did
I
you
don't
buy for me?
understand the nature,
What did you
that's
buy
how
for
I call
me?
it.
You know,
I don't
all
understand
kinds of crazy
how
stuff.
all of that,
Yeah.
what you feel as an adult, that you
Yes.
can control another adult
Right.
After they didn't work for the money, though.
after
Right,
they
right.
work for the money.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's just oftentimes generational. It's
Yeah.
almost like you've experienced it, so this is what you think is your normal, and now you
Yes.
push that normal on others, and
true.
and oftentimes people just want to be accepted and embraced. So it's a soft transition to the abuse, I think, but then you kind of get locked into this new normal that's not normal at all.
Well, then you break it down and you talk about, okay, we said financial, that's one of the areas. Then you talk about sexual.
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
that's another thing that they want to control you.
Right.
Right.
Having sex. What did you want to say about that
Look,
philosophy?
So no, that's how men connect being submissive as a wife.
That's
true. Right.
Okay.
Sexual
Okay.
domestic
Mhm,
violence where they say,
mhm.
well, you have to have sex with me when I want. That's kind of
No,
abuse.
no.
Right.
And then you're not feeling it, because women, we emotional. We
We're
have our ways,
emotional.
Yes.
and we're very passionate, and we
Right.
want romance, but in
Right.
the right way.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
Don't force me to have to
Right.
do what I don't want to do with
Right.
my body.
Right.
And a lot of women are
Respect
going through that
your
because
body.
respect me, respect my body, respect
Yes.
me as a woman. You're taking advantage of me, but they don't see that. They don't hear that because they're off the one thing. But the woman will still stay because why? They're fearful.
Right.
Yes.
or may not be able to afford their lifestyle without the spouse. That's another reason why they
Oh, that's a
stay.
good
Right,
point.
Yeah,
right,
so
right.
they stay in those situations because they're like, oh my goodness, if I leave, how am I going to
Well,
pay for this?
How am I going
Right.
to take care of that? And that's what they
Right.
want.
It's a
Right.
correlation of
Yes.
several different aspects
Yes.
of domestic violence
That's
in,
true.
in relationships, and I've seen it like even when it comes down to in my business with clients. The wife instantly say, "Oh, I give my check to my husband," and then she cringes, right?
When she
and,
says it.
and then the husband fidgety. So you know it's like a form of control behind the scenes, but they try to play it off.
Right.
And then again, culturally, being so I'm Nigerian, I see a lot of Nigerian women being taken control over financially, physically, everything. So again, it's a
It's
cultural.
definitely
Yeah, a lot of it
Wow,
is.
it's culture,
Yeah.
true.
All different cultures. All the
Okay,
cultures
but I
have
say
it.
Right.
All the
and
cultures
domestic
have it.
violence has
Right.
no specific
Right.
area of race.
Yeah.
Not at
It
all.
happens in every race. Well, we see that even opportunity where women are now trying to find their way out.
Yes.
And they're trying to find their way out. How do I get out? What do I need to do? Who do I need to call? So we have a number here, in case you want to know. It's the National Abuse Hotline. It's 800-799-7233. That's 800-799-7233. There are many homes, shelters that you can go to,
Yes.
that you should call, and they can give you those addresses, names, and organizations that can help you if you need help. Because it's still women, even pastors' wives,
Oh my
you
goodness.
know, that are
Wow.
going through abuse all the time. That they are sitting in church and they're trying to get that face on, that they're happy. They might not be happy. They really may not be happy.
And you know they say we women are chameleons, so we know how to put the face on. So
Real
Right.
well.
Wow.
Very well.
Absolutely. I have a guest, I believe, on the line who can even talk more about how to put the face on. The things that she had, the things that she had to go through, even as a wife, being in church.
Wow.
And she has a very, very compelling story to tell. I want to introduce her, and her name is Lynn Strange. Lynn Strange was on the panel with me when we did the Women's Ubiquitous
Ubiquitous.
Expo.
Yes, I
Okay,
remember.
gotcha.
Yes, with Jermaine, and it was awesome, and she was part of that panel. She's an awesome woman, like sister. She is so lovely. I really enjoyed her. But Lynn Strange is a minister, leader, speaker, and advocate, and a coach. Lynn Strange is a licensed and ordained and dynamic minister for the gospel of Jesus Christ. She is passionate and fervent in advancing the kingdom of God with God's mantle of anointing and the fire. She is an overcomer victor from the traumatic cycle of domestic violence. She is a living testimony of the yokes destroying, burden removing, and healing power of God.
All right.
Nationally renowned for empowerment talks and workshops. She has been featured in radio, television, calendars, print, and internet media, including the Tom Joyner Morning Show, Praise 104.1, WYCB 1340 AM, WKYS 96.3, and the OWN Network's Belief series. She was a Metro Phenomenal Woman Award recipient in November 2015. So she is all about knowing how to do what she does. She is a woman that's on the move. She is out there doing her thing, and she is an advocate for domestic violence. Lynn Strange, are you there?
Yes, good afternoon, wonderful ladies. Thank you so much for those kind words. It is truly an honor to be on the show today and to once again be among your presence. Thank you so much.
Turn up some more.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Lynn, for calling in. I know you were supposed to be in the studio, and you sent me a
Yes.
message this morning. Fortunately, you have something that happened, that could not bring you here physically, but you're here on the call, and thank you for even
Yes.
agreeing to do that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a blessing.
So give us some information and background. Who is Lynn Strange, and how did you become a victor?
God is so good. I lived in one of the most horrific domestic violence cycles. I grew up in a very abusive environment at home from my mom. And growing up in that abusive cycle led me to a very despondent life in my teen years, formative years, and then which bridged me over to really looking for love, and I found it in all the wrong places. I ended up meeting my batterer, later became husband and children of my father, my children, through a cousin of mine at a jail in Upper Marlboro. And on the first date, I was entering into a very horrific domestic violence relationship. I was beat on the first day of our dating relationship, and that led me into a cycle where I was sodomized with objects. I was dragged on the highway, busted eyes, busted lip, blackened eyes, left for dead in the tub, strangled. Just really a very vicious cycle. Rape, as I heard you ladies talk about, no means no. Rape at his leisure and opportunity. And then sitting in the very pews of a church that told me that I had to submit to that. As I was seeking and crying out for help, for deliverance, I was told by the pastor of that particular church that that was my obligation, even as I sat in the pews with black eyes Sunday after Sunday and did not realize that God did not want me to be in that cycle. And from there, I continued to endure the cycle of abuse. And then one year, 1999, on a Friday, my husband came home and beat me so horrifically and took the phone cord of the phone, strangled around my neck, left me pretty much for dead, told me that I would be dead by that Sunday, and praying all that Saturday night and Saturday during the day on Saturday, did not know at 3 a.m. on Sunday morning, the very Sunday I was supposed to be dead, he was murdered, and that was my way out and deliverance out of that horrific cycle of violence. So God is good. I never glorified the death, but I sure do thank God that on that same Sunday where he said I would be dead, God saw fit through his mercy to deliver me out of that relationship. And the cycle is real. There are a lot of lingering, at times, emotional and traumatic effects. I went through a lot of spiritual counseling and a lot of counseling that was not spiritual. And I just put my life and my hands into God and continued to reach out and seek him and search him and clung to him. And it was he alone that has healed me and given me the opportunity to go back and help heal others through his power, bring deliverance and understanding, and advocate on those who are still in the cycle, those who are out, and really continue to bring awareness about the cycle of domestic violence and how detrimental it is, can be, and will be if we don't continue to be catalysts against this horrific cycle.
Wow, that is true. Lynn, I wanted to ask you, do you find that this has somehow affected a cycle in your family?
Absolutely. I stand here today to say that I have 3 daughters. 2 of my daughters have been in the cycle, and one, as we speak today, is still in that cycle of domestic violence. And we know spiritually it's a generational curse, and I pray for that curse to definitely be delivered out of our family. But I've witnessed it firsthand in my own family, and just how much so the enemy tries to bind that spirit into the lives of our family as well.
And how are you dealing with that and talking to your daughters? Because, you know, parents, we try to tell our children what to do, but they hear, but they don't listen.
Mm-hmm.
They don't take the advice that because they've
That's
seen
true.
you go
What
through
they
this.
see is
Yes.
what they'll be.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yes.
Now, the one thing about my children, when my husband was murdered, the kids were small, and I often question, how do you then become in that same cycle that you didn't witness? And so as a mom now, it's twofold. I look at it from the spiritual, like, yes, this is a generational curse, but then I also have to take the very knowledge and understanding of how to assist someone who's in domestic violence and give it to my children. I can't be the mom that says, hey, get up and leave and just go right now, although I do in a manner let them know how valuable they are and how important they are, and that they don't deserve to allow someone to beat them, drag them in the street in the same manner. I'm actually looking at the same mirror of myself sometimes with the occurrences of the daughter that's still in, being beaten and blackened eyes and dragged and going back into that same cycle. So I try, 1, pray, but 2, speak to them in a way that does not make them feel bad that they're in. But God, I sure hope they can hear to get out.
Yes.
And so there's a challenge at times because you don't want to take that mother road so much so to make them feel like, look, enough is enough, even though you know that's what you know is needed to be said, but also balance it with the understanding of knowing how to help someone who's still in the cycle, who can't see that they need to really come up out that cycle.
Did you have a question for Lynn?
My question, and I think it was just from the very beginning, because in my mind, what went through your mind the first time when you all were dating? You know, that made you stay at that point.
What I thought then was the thing that really tied me to him from that first incident was he said sorry, whereas my mother, who was verbally and emotionally abusing me, did not nurture me with love. So growing up without that apology and showing that love, it was easy for me to connect and believe that he was really sorry, because I saw sorry and affection after he did that first incident, after that first punch.
Yeah,
and that
so-
made it seem more credible to me that he meant that.
And see, men know when you're vulnerable.
Right.
They
Yes.
know when they can do that, especially if you're telling them your story, because they want to know who you are. You know, what was your childhood like? How were
Yes.
you mistreated, or who loved you? And if you give them and spill them, oh, I wasn't loved, and my daddy
So
wasn't
then
there.
they
gives
take
it-
all that in.
Oh yeah,
Take
oh
notes.
yeah, they take notes in that.
Yes, they do.
And take
Yes,
advantage
they
of that
do.
situation. Are you out now doing anything, talking to anyone in the churches or schools or groups about your about domestic violence?
Absolutely. I'm still trailblazing, and I say that in the sense still giving hope, giving understanding, and giving knowledge. I last year launched a We Are One sisterhood and really helping in the community, not just in Prince George's County, but extending even some out of the borders to really bring a collaborative of women together, and hoping that we always can to keep that system so that we can empower our women to be who God created them to be and to come out of these dysfunctions that are really tying women who are filled with the power, women who are talented, gifted, educated, to be able to go forth and soar into what they have been called to be.
That is awesome. Well, you know, when we were at the Ubiquitous Expo, Women's Expo in August, which was an awesome time, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed you. We had a question
Thank you.
that was on the panel that said, should she leave after the first hit? That was the question that was posed. And what do you say to that, Lynn?
I say absolutely. I say that because it is after that first hit that really begins the cycle. It's really no apology, because at that point, if you excuse it one time, you already have entered into the cycle. Then you've put yourself well into it. And it is a very good deception, even with the apology, that this is not going to happen again. It is going to happen again. And I say, yes, leave after the first hit.
Yeah. Yeah, that you do find yourself in this cycle because you feel like, oh.
And that happened to me. You know, I remember as a teenager, you know, the young man I was dating, and I can't even remember, for something stupid. I don't know what it was. Between that, took my little class ring. I called the police. You know, I just said, I am not having this. This fool took my ring. Look, it was bad enough he did that, slapped me or whatever, for whatever stupid reason. I can't even remember. But then you took my class ring. I called the police. And that's what you got to do. You know, you got to
right.
speak up
You
for
can't
yourself.
stay silent.
Let
Yeah.
them know I am not playing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
That's
deal
true.
with this.
That's
You know,
true.
so,
Yeah.
that first
Absolutely.
Time, yeah.
Well, Lynn, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. We got to get you in here,
Thank you.
physically in here. one
Yes,
time.
yes, I do apologize for this morning. I thank you, each of you. Thank you for the opportunity. Always a blessing to be in each of your presence, and God bless you all. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
God bless you. Thank you for sharing.
God bless you. No
Yes,
more. Thank
Lynn
you.
Strange.
Thank you. God bless you all.
Wow.
God bless you
Bye-bye.
too.
Powerful.
We're going to go to a commercial break, and then we're going to come back and finish our conversation on domestic violence.
A grand event, a night of style, a showcase of creativity and talent, a celebration of cultural diversity and humanity. Chase the Dream Culture, Arts and Beauty presents its 4th annual Evening of Cultures on Friday, October 11, 2019 from 6 p.m. until 11:45 p.m. at the Great Hall of Silver Spring Civic Center. Join us at this cultural extravaganza where the symbolism and use of the cowrie shell will be highlighted. Fashion show, live entertainment, poetry, dance, vendors, dinner, Best Dressed Guest Award, honoring veteran artists, and much more awaits you. Heart health and cardiovascular disease will be this year's humanitarian topic. Tickets and vendor space are selling fast. Reserve your spot today on Eventbrite. The Evening of Cultures.
There's something going on Friday. What is it
That's
that we
what's
was
going
watching
on
the
Friday.
video?
Yes,
yeah.
that's what you see. I have my Afro. I'm getting ready. I
I
have my little
see.
African attire. But yes, the Evening of Cultures, a spectacular celebration of culture and humanity, and it's this Friday, October the 11th at 6:30, and we're gonna party till midnight. So you gotta come, wear your African attire, wear your red. We're gonna talk about cowrie shells, and we always talk about our cultural experience. We're gonna have ambassadors. Oh, we're gonna have Oprah's makeup artist Reggie. He's gonna talk about beauty. He's gonna be there as one of our special guests, and so you want to be there. It's only $35, ladies and gentlemen. That's no ticket, but you're gonna have we're gonna have a fashion show. We're gonna have a secret person who's gonna be, if you, whatever your outfit is, make it bad, because you're gonna get a prize.
Oh.
So you're gonna have a prize to that bad outfit.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna have vendors have our marketplace. So you can have shopping all around. Bring your cash, bring your cards. If you don't, you're gonna be upset. And then we're gonna have a taste of Africa and a taste of Jamaica. We're gonna have a taste of, we have
beautiful.
a cultural taste. So you gotta come. It's an exciting night, and this is our 4th annual.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
It's right. It's our 4th year. So Helena Makona, that's my partner from Ethiopia. So she's also a Sister for Sister Network lady, and that's how I met her. I met her at Sister for Sister Network. We clicked, and we've been doing business ever since.
That's
And
awesome.
we're a family. So
that is nice.
and
That
so
is.
you got to, come on out and support us. Sister for Sister is our co-sponsor. So ladies in the house,
Sister for
and
Sister
gentlemen,
Network.
we want to see
Yes.
you in the place, and also Florence's Open My Heart Foundation. She's also one of our persons that we're going to help. Yes. So wear your red, because we're going to talk about, we'll have a doctor there, about heart disease and stroke. We always talk about something in our community internationally that we all experience. Heart attack and stroke. So that's why we're wearing red.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
come on
talk
out.
about
Get
that.
there early, get your seat.
Yeah, I got there last year, and then I was sitting in the back, and I missed the food.
So you got to come early.
Come
They tear up the foods.
Yeah, they tear that
They
food
tear
up.
the food up.
Yeah.
It's not like we
But
have
it's
a
a nice
whole
event,
lot. So
yeah.
you better come early if you want to get a little something, something.
Right.
An awesome event, but when you talk about stress and dealing with that and heart disease and being sick, part of that comes from domestic abuse.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely.
It's an
Absolutely.
illness that takes on, and mentally, otherwise, it is stressful. I have a couple of my girlfriends are going through that now because they went through domestic violence, and it really took on them, for their health. And now they're dealing with cancer.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because
Yeah.
you know what? Those negative fluids, that acid builds up in your body. So what you intake on a daily basis, it stays in you. Because it's just like when you cry, that's letting it out. But if you hold it in, it's gonna it's gonna turn to acid.
Manifest. Wow.
Your body loses oxygen, and cancer cannot survive in an oxygenated area in your body.
Right.
So put that water in there, drink that water every day, cry, but do something about it.
Right.
You really, because that's why cancer survives so easily, because it's the acids and foods that we put in our body that turns to acid. Yeah.
Philosophy, what have you been doing lately? Did you want to let us know what's in your world, girl?
We have a lot going on. So, we started Black Professionals of Prince George's County. So, if you all know, my goal is to reduce the small business failure rate. And it's about 95% failure rate in the African American community. So I'm trying to really figure out the way to save our small businesses, because they say that that's a direct reflection into our Black empowerment, Black economic wealth. So we're having our first meetup. It's October 16th in my office in the conference room to bring Black professionals back to the community.
Yes.
So now I'm excited about that, and tax season is coming. So we just got a lot going on. I'm just
Right.
excited just to be a part and finally be able to get out, because I've been around you ladies for years.
Yes.
But now the children are older. I can kind of get out a little bit. My husband can handle them a little
All
bit better
right.
now.
All right.
So I can get out now. So I'm just excited to just be a part of the organization and just be able to bring my company outside more and not just stay online.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
What I forgot to do is give the address for the event.
Sure.
So the event, Evening of Cultures, is at One Veterans Place, Silver Spring, Maryland, right there in City Place. We're in the Civic Center building, right down in the heart, and it's free parking. So don't worry about
Right.
parking, because the big parking garage right across the street, you can park free.
Awesome. Free. That's
Free.
a wonderful thing.
Free.
This is Silver Spring.
Silver Spring, right downtown Silver Spring. That's what I love about giving events in Silver Spring.
Right.
And weekends you can park. Yeah.
Well, this has
Yes.
been an awesome day. As we know, we don't like to talk about this subject too much, but we have to talk about it. We have to address it.
Yes.
It doesn't matter who you are in your profession.
Right.
Many
Right.
women are doctors and lawyers, and there are teachers, educators. I mean, but they are dealing and
they're
still dealing, and
moms.
they're moms.
They're
Right.
moms.
But
yes.
guess what? We are beautiful women.
That's right.
We're who we are because
Strong.
God created us to be strong.
Yes.
And because
We're the-
you said,
That creation begins in us. We gotta be strong.
Oh, we gotta be strong.
Please.
We gotta stay strong.
We are a
So,
machine.
yeah, we are.
Yes.
We are.
Yes,
and
we
it's
are.
a beautiful
That's
thing
right.
that's why we need each other to help
That's
each
right.
other, to
That's
support
right.
one another, because we never know
Yes.
what our sisters could be going through,
Absolutely.
But I want to thank you, Felicity, for coming
Thank
in,
you.
for sitting in
Thank
for
you.
Charlene.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alicia, for
Come back.
coming
Oh,
in.
my
Sitting for
pleasure.
Peggy. Always
Thank you.
welcome.
My
She's
pleasure.
she's a fixture here. You know,
Oh,
she's
I know,
always-
now I'm a-
I know you.
One of the fifth sister to come in.
We need
It's
anchors.
my
We
pleasure.
always said when we know we can count on you as one of our
Oh
anchors.
yeah.
Yes.
But every Saturday we end with it's time for you to walk in your purpose and your prosperity. But today I want us to embrace who we are as women and say an affirmation and say, I am a woman.
I am a woman.
I am a strong woman.
I
am a strong woman.
I am a beautiful woman.
I am a beautiful woman.
I am a powerful woman.
I am a powerful woman.
And I am a queen.
And I am a queen.
And you are a queen, you're powerful, you're beautiful,
Yes.
and you continue to stay that way. And we will see you next week. Thanks for
See you
joining
next
us.
week.
Absolutely.
Hey, ladies, put your crown on. Come on.
And let's rock.